Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle program on your favorite station, Television Nigerian. My name is Daniel Atai. I am your host for today's program, and today we'll be looking at the US-Iran rift, the implications on Nigeria, especially if there is any. And with me in the studio to analyze these factual trends of events that is happening now is your usual analyst and public affairs commentator, Alozie Emmanuel. Meanwhile, we will ask you to stay tuned so that we will give you the video clips of what transpired in faraway between US and Iran and the consequences that we may, a kind of suspect in the long run, if there would be any, especially on Nigeria. Stay tuned after this timeout.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
But how could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now seeing that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual to the digital.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Sally Mama,
there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he's fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Yeah, welcome back. Like I was saying, this program will be open to audience to participate, and you can use the numbers on the screen to call if you have your opinion to contribute to the program of today. And for the sake of the vision impaired ones, the numbers are 081 3701 5949 and 070 5432 7616. And we are looking at the implications of the US-Iran rift on Nigeria, if there is any. And I've introduced my guest analyst in the studio, Emmanuel Alozie, a seasoned commentator, journalist, and a public affairs guru. Welcome to the studio of TVN.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
And I wish you the same. Of course, this is our first program for the year. So happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
All right. Before the calls have started coming in after introducing the program, and if you're watching us live, please call later. Let's give you the background analysis first before you throw in your contribution. Now, Mr. Alozie, there is this fear around all over the world now that the Third World War is looming because of the missile launch that have killed one Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani, whom the US have adjudged to be sponsoring terrorism across the globe. What is your take? Do you think we have any consequence? This will have any consequence on Nigeria as a country or as an ally?
Thank you very much. From this distance, let me also, in the social media, in the last couple of days, it's been trending Third World War, Third World War, and I laughed. I said there is not going to be any war, let alone a war in the magnitude of a Third World War.
Okay, there's not going to be war.
Yeah, there's not going to be any war. And in the unlikely event that a war breaks out between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran, I do not think there is any major implication on Nigeria, except from what I will say from this point as the economic advantage, because it's going to inch up the oil price, which has already started. As at yesterday, the crude oil price was slightly above $65 per barrel. You understand? So if this chemistry continues like Iran is a major oil exporter.
Okay. And
US also has also become a major oil exporter through the shale oil.
Okay.
And Nigeria being another major oil exporter, any disruption in production will inch up the crude price, and Nigeria will reap bountifully from it. Whether we are going to use it judiciously is a question for another day. But what I'm saying in summary is that I do not think in any way that there is going to be any implication in terms of security of Nigerians, or even if there is going to be a world war today, I don't think those who are going to fight the world war are still struggling. African countries that are struggling. You understand?
And we are not ballistic.
Yeah, we are not.
We don't have ballistic missiles in this part of the world.
We are talking of the development. We are talking of development to a certain level. We are talking of basic development.
Okay.
Let alone going into nuclear war or having nuclear warhead. So you see, anybody who is mentioning world war should remember why the two wars were called world wars.
Okay.
The 1914 and the 1940.
Yeah.
The one that started in 1940, the one that started in 1914.
And ended 1945.
And ended 1945. It was basically because of the many African countries were still under the colonial powers, be it Britain, be it France, be it Germany, be it Portugal,
Europe and Europe mostly.
So because they were colonial masters, so it was easy for the colonial masters then to come and mobilize troops from the African vassals to fight their wars. So in case any of those big powers now want to engage in any war, I don't think they will be looking for help from very poor African countries that are still struggling.
Okay, while we are going into that, I will come to ask you about the IMN link with Iranian religious whatever. But let's pick this call concurrently as we go on to see what this caller have to say.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm on to Television Nigeria.
Yeah, you are on, and we are on it. You are seeing the topic already.
Sir?
I think you are abreast with the topic of discussion already.
Okay, that's good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What is your take?
Yeah, good afternoon. I saw the topic about the issue about the U.S. and Iran and what it does to Nigeria and other countries, allied countries.
Yeah, we're talking about the implications, if there is any, on Nigeria from the U.S.-Iran rift. And the analysts here have just said economic benefits.
Actually, in my opinion, Nigeria and Iran had never had any problems that I can think of, and neither do we have any with the U.S.
Okay.
But the only thing is, we have Nigerian citizens in Iran. You understand? Residents, those who are working there, those who have businesses, and the rest. Now, those who are even schooling. Now, if the U.S. decides that they want to declare war with Iran, Nigeria should be worried about their citizens' safety.
Okay, please. You called straight into the program while we're on, and where are you calling from precisely, and your name?
I'm calling in from Abuja, and the name is Hawa Mama.
Okay, Hawa Mama from FCT. All right, continue.
All right. So I think the only implications is that the Nigerian government should be thinking about the security of their citizens in both the US and Iran. You understand?
Yeah.
We do not have a problem with both countries, but we should be concerned about our citizens. Who are they? Because if there is a full-blown war between these people, our own citizens will be affected, and we should be worried about their own security. So if you ask my opinion, I think the federal government should think about brokering peace between these two parties, since we do not have any problem with them initially.
Okay.
Are you hearing me, Uncle Dad?
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't think we have any bilateral ties, or that we economically wise, we are close to them, both countries, and we have Iranians here in Nigeria, and they are all secured. I don't see the reason why we shouldn't broker peace between both of them, since we don't have any problems with them.
Okay.
For the sake, not for anything, because of our bilateral ties and the security of our citizens.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution, Hawa Maman from FCT.
Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, thank
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Alozi, Hawa seems to toe your part that
Sure.
there will be no consequence, and there is no implication whatsoever. You have said economic benefit. If at all there will be consequence, it will be positive ones for Nigeria.
Yes.
And what about the issue of Islamic movement of Nigeria who have ties with Iran?
Like the last caller said, Nigeria and Iran has no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Nigeria and Iran has no war pact.
Okay.
What used to be called war pact in those days,
Yeah.
where an attack on one is an attack on the other.
Yes.
So there is just no implication. Just like what the caller said,
Okay.
Nigeria would only be worried about the safety of Nigerian citizens, and there are many of them in Iran.
Okay.
You understand? And the next best step, in case anything happens, is for Nigeria to go and evacuate her citizens from Iran. And so that there's just nothing. So coming to the sectarian allegiances,
Yes.
is everybody knows that Iran is a Shia. Iran is a Shia dominated country,
Yeah.
in terms of Islamic sects.
Okay.
Iran can be said to be the headquarters of the Shia Islam. And therefore, the Shia Muslims in Nigeria owe the allegiance principally to Iran. So whatever that affects Iran, they will feel that it affects them much more than any. I don't think there's any other thing more than that. So the Shias in Iran, in Nigeria, are in minority.
Okay.
So the mainstream sect in Nigeria is the Sunni Muslims.
Okay.
And the Sunni Muslims won't shed a tear in terms of sectarian religion. I mean, in terms of sectarianism,
Yeah.
on what affects Iran.
Okay.
But many Sunnis I know will have sympathy because of the humanity
Yeah.
of us,
Yeah.
our humanity.
Yeah.
No matter the sect we subscribe to, no matter the religion we subscribe to, when you see your fellow human, you understand, your fellow human being attacked, there is something in you that moves you to say, oh, we are humans first. They say there is no tribe other than the humanity. You understand?
Yeah.
So what we are saying here is, I don't think the Shia movements in Nigeria having its allegiance to Iran will in any way drag us into any conflict
with
US or into any conflict that Iran is involved with.
Okay. Judging from the fact that we, as a nation, we are one of the allies of the United States of America. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. And under the UN Charter, as a member of the United Nations Organization, do you think the US will raise eyebrow against Nigeria Shiite?
No. Like I said, US, it may surprise you to know that US...
because this question I'm asking you now, is because of the uproar, a kind of a protest from some few elements
in Nigeria. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It may surprise you to know that the US has more intelligence than even we Nigerians that are here.
Okay.
So they know that the Shias in Nigeria are in the minority, and their opinions, so to speak, do not reflect the opinion of the majority,
or the opinion of the federal government of Nigeria. Because even right now, the federal government of Nigeria is still holding their leader
and has condemned the
activities of
Shiites.
All right, thank
you understand? So it does not in any way influence US. It won't make US in any way to look at Nigeria from any angle. Going into this conflict. But luckily, like President Trump said last night, that seems that Iran is standing down.
Yes.
Reason is prevailing.
Yeah.
You understand? And President Trump said it's in the interest of the world that Iran is standing down.
Yes.
You understand? You understand? So
the foreign minister, Jihad, Zarif came. Mohammed came to say that the attack, the 16 missiles shot at some
U.S. bases,
Iraqi U.S. bases, were just like a response to the missile attack that killed Qasim. However, that they are not going to war with the U.S.
Between the U.S., both countries don't want war.
All right.
And I do not really think that there's anybody today or any power, all the developed countries, I do not think any of those developed countries will want war. No matter the way they paint it, no matter the armament, no matter the way they are stockpiling arms and nuclear weapons, you understand?
Nuclear, they know, especially missiles.
Yeah, missiles. So they know the implication of war.
Okay.
The implication of war is going to be especially the implication of modern warfare is going to be so devastating to the world itself.
Because the world is a global war.
Yes, now. The world is coming to. You see, the war people are even going into, the war that may happen going forward. It's not the war of bow and arrow or guns, and it's now the cyber war.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. It's now the cyber war where rogue countries can stay in the comfort of their own countries to bring down the economy of an enemy country through the cyberspace.
Exactly.
You understand?
So that's the war.
Yeah, it's a technology
rather than guerrilla warfare.
Rather than the conventional warfare. Yes. And that's the war we should be afraid of. That's the war serious countries should be mindful of. I do not think, no matter what, look at what has been happening in Syria. Look at the hidden war in Yemen. You understand? Yeah. If it were before now, you understand, the hidden war in Yemen would have dragged the big boys. When I say the big boys, I mean the big countries into conflicts. Yeah. But Saudis and East allies are just pounding Yemen, the poor head Yemen. People are being killed. It's not even being reported.
Okay, thank you for that. That will bring us to the statement of Donald Trump. We'll watch this little clip so that we'll see his justification for the termination of Qasem Soleimani. Please take a look at this video so that you will hear what Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, said as his reasons for terminating the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani.
Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned and a very good thing for the world. No American or Iraqi lives were lost because of the precautions taken, the dispersal of forces, and an early warning system that worked very well. I salute the incredible skill and courage of America's men and women in uniform. For far too long, all the way back to 1979, to be duty is the defense of our nation and its citizens. Last night, at my direction, the United States military successfully executed a flawless precision strike that killed the #1 terrorist anywhere in the world, Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel, but we caught him in the act and terminated him. Under my leadership, America's policy is unambiguous to terrorists who harm or intend to harm any American. We will find you. We will eliminate you. We will always protect our diplomats, service members, all Americans, and our allies. For years, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its ruthless Quds Force under Soleimani's leadership has targeted, injured, and murdered hundreds of American civilians and servicemen. The recent attacks on U.S. targets in Iraq, including rocket strikes that killed an American and injured 4 American servicemen very badly, as well as a violent assault on our embassy in Baghdad, were carried out at the direction of Soleimani. Soleimani made the death of innocent people his sick passion, contributing to terrorist plots as far away as New Delhi and London. Today we remember and honor the victims of Soleimani's many atrocities, and we take comfort in knowing that his reign of terror is over. Soleimani has been perpetrating acts of terror to destabilize the Middle East for the last 20 years. What the United States did yesterday should have been done long ago. A lot of lives would have been saved. Just recently, Soleimani led.
That was a little clip from the statement of Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, justifying the reason for the termination of the life of Qasem Soleimani, the general. He called him, he refers to him as
the number
one terrorist in the world. And that strike took place on the 3rd of January, this very month. And he said the American people are ready to protect their diplomats anywhere in the world as well as their allies. What could you make of the statement of Donald Trump? I think he has just justified the missile launch against Qasem.
Well, many people describe America as the police of the world.
Okay.
And when they designate you a terrorist, I don't think any other person will have any other contrary say.
Because they have all the evidence.
Yeah, they may have all the evidence. They might have had all the evidence. But they say one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. For General Qasem Soleimani,
yeah,
he's been described as the second most important man in Iran.
Okay, as one of their heroes.
Yeah, more important than the president of Iran.
Because he terrorizes the world.
Yeah, the only person that is more important to him, more important than him in Iran, is the supreme leader, Ayatollah. So that is to show you. You see, the killing of Soleimani, some analysts have said, just about a few weeks back, Iran was divided. Protest here, there. The government shut down the internet to prevent the world from knowing what was going on in Iran.
Okay.
But to tell you how things can happen dramatically, a few weeks down the line, the killing of General Soleimani succeeded in bringing Iranians together.
Good.
That is to show you how popular he was in Iran. And that's why I said, they said one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. I don't think any reasonable Iranian believes that General Soleimani was a terrorist. But we do not have counter evidence to counter what President Trump said, that he has been carrying out terrorist attacks in the last 20 years.
Yes, across even Middle East.
Across the Middle East, even in London,
even in New Delhi.
Even in New Delhi, you understand. But all we know is, if he is a member, he's the leader of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which the US has designated as a terrorist group.
Of course.
And it's a dead that whatever whoever is in power wants done is done with deadly precision.
At his just directive,
yes,
like Trump said,
yes, at his directive.
That all the terrorist actions that
many lives
were at his direction. He gave the directive.
So to the average American, or to President Trump now, because a lot of Americans disagreed in the killing of General Soleimani. Many analysts have also said the killing, the method of killing him was simply arrogant. You just shoving it on the face of Iran. We can do this, you can go to hell and nothing will happen.
I know, but those people that he's been killing across the globe, like Donald Trump asserted and substantiated with evidence, which even calmed the nerves of the Iranian leader, Ayatollah, and the prime minister, the foreign minister, Mohammed Zarif, who said that they are not going to war because of the death of Qasem, that the 16 missile launch, of which 11 targeted at US base in Iraq, is enough retaliation.
Yes, but
whether there were casualties or not, he said is enough. Because of the evidence Donald Trump presented.
It's not really because of that evidence. What I'm saying practically is this: that there are 1 million ways to kill a rat without drawing his blood. You understand? There are a lot of ways America would have used on his own to even get him and kill him, or even bring him to justice. If you remember that it took them about 10 or 11 years to get to Saddam, to get to Osama bin Laden. You understand? The major aim initially was to bring Osama bin Laden alive into the US soil to try him. You understand? But the next option was kill him if he resisted. And he resisted, he was killed. You understand? What I'm saying is this: there are ways you would have killed General Suleiman, that would General Qasem Suleiman, that would have left a lot of speculations without even announcing it publicly, knowing how popular he was with Iran, in Iran, and with Iranians.
But America, they have just told you that they are ready, even if it has to come to war. That they are ready, and that they have all.
It's only America that can do this. You understand? They know. They have sized up. America is like one tall man in the community. You understand? Where everybody is short. They will stand tall and size everybody's head and say there is nobody here.
No. You said they are the police of the world.
That's what people say. They are the police of the world. So what we are saying now is this: the way they killed this man has united Iranians against Americans. You understand? It has even, if there were Iranians in Iran that had a little bit of sympathy for US or whatever, this has totally decimated it. So it's not in the interest of peace of the world.
Okay, what do you take? Would you say about the launch, the 16 missile launch?
No, that is simply face saving
from Iran.
From Iran, Iran bragged. The supreme leader brags. There are going to be harsh revenge. That even when they were blowing those hot air, I told somebody that there is nothing they are going to do. Iranians they have thinkers. Iranians are not rash. You don't just move. You don't just rush to war, knowing that war, the second name for war is death. So Iranians will do something. You see what they did with their state TV is After the missile launch, their state even went to, and said 80 American soldiers were killed. This was simply the propaganda they used to pacify Iranians who expected their government to do something.
All right.
You wouldn't want to come and tell your people that see this is America, I cannot fight America.
Okay. You have a point there. We'll round up here. I just want to tell the world from the studio of Television Nigerian that there will be no consequence on Nigerians, especially the Nigerian government, from the rift between the United States of America and the Iranian government. We are simply very neutral, even though we are allies of the United States of America from the United Nations Organization, and we are also allies, a kind of economic allies with the Iranian government. So we are at peace in the country, and we pray that the peace that they have established already between the two countries will stay. We will join them in that peace so that we don't have problem anywhere in the world. Thank you for coming, Mr. Emmanuel Aluzie, and for that wonderful analysis. And that is where we are going to stop. You can drop your comment on our social media, handles, both on Twitter and on Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere. Just search for us, Television Nigerian, especially on Twitter at TV Nigerian. This is where we'll stop for today. God bless you, and thanks for watching. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.